if this is fair or foul. Would you respect that, or would you have something to say about that if it happened?
I mean, I probably something I wouldn't do.
But hey,
100%.
if you can back it up, then go
Yep.
for it, right?
Yep.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, here at Locked On Kraken, we have another guest from PWHL Seattle. Cayla Barnes is joining us. Cayla, how you feeling today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate that. You know, sun is out. I'm going to be in the Pacific Northwest, Emerald City soon. So I'm excited. Just got over W All-Star, but we want to talk about you here. And we're excited to have you in market with PWHL Seattle. I know the fans are super excited to have women's hockey in Seattle, but we want to get to know you a little bit better. So I ask all of the athletes that we have on the show this brown sugar question, and that is, when did you fall in love with hockey?
Yeah, I fell in love with hockey almost instantly. I actually started as a figure skater. I'm the youngest of 4 older brothers. So my mom was super excited to finally have a girl, and she's like, oh my God, we can dress her up and go figure skating. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to do what my brothers are doing. So, I really fell in love there. And I remember getting on the ice for, the first time, and I learned how to skate I was very food driven, still am. And my coach would put Skittles on the ice. And if I could skate to them, I could eat them. And that was my motivation. So, that was really the first time that I was like, this is fun. Skittles, fun. I can do this.
I mean, that's genius, honestly. But now we have to ask, are we going like the traditional Skittles, or have you like evolved? Do you have like a favorite pack? I still rock with Tropical. I feel like they're trying to phase them out, but that's like one of my favorites.
Yeah. Is Tropical the purple pack?
So Tropical is like the kind of like teal blue pack. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like those. I do like the OG pack. I think that's probably what I stick to. I have kind of evolved into sour candy, so sour Skittles are kind of my jam now too.
All right, yeah. Was that like the lime green one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell I have a sweet tooth? Like I'm like, yeah, by color, yeah, color code the Skittles. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. So skills got you going, got you motivated. Were you always on the blue line as a defender, or did you evolve there? How did that work?
Yeah, so I kind of always started on defense. I'm not really sure why. I just think I kind of was put there, but I fell in love with it. I was fortunate enough to have some really great coaches growing up that, kind of influenced my journey and helped me really learn the game from a defensive lens. And I just fell in love with it and kind of stuck with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And so, all right, so you are motivated by Skittles. You're out there skating on the blue line, but at some point in time, right, you were kind of like, I might kind of be pretty good at this. When did you really have, excuse me, not just aspirations, but when you figured out that you could really make a push to play hockey at the highest level?
Yeah, I remember watching the 2010 Olympics. I was 11 at the time. Hillary was there, I believe. And I was 11, sitting on my couch.
Saying it twice just so we got it on tape.
Yeah, just in case you couldn't hear me. But I remember watching it, and that was really the first time that I had seen, women playing hockey. And, growing up in California, it wasn't a super huge hockey market, especially not for women. So that was kind of the moment I remember my mom telling me, she was like, you looked at me and said, I'm going to play in the Olympics. And my mom at the time was like, okay, dream big, you got it. But, that was kind of my first time where I was like, oh, I could do something. And then as I got a little bit older and more mature, I moved out east to play hockey, and I started getting, some interest from the U18 team. And, colleges and stuff. And that was really, around 14, 15, where I was like, I can make a push to do this. I can do something pretty special here. So, that was kind of the trajectory of my career.
I love it. So when you make your first Olympics, which, I mean, you said you were going to do it and you did it a few times over now, was it mom that reminded you, or did you flip this and be like, I told you? Like, who remembered that memory first?
Honestly, I did. I said, Mom, I told you I was going to do it, and here we are. We're going. No, but it was a really special moment. I was 19, super young. I'd never been with the national team before. The Olympics was my first major international tournament with the Olympics. Or with the national team, I mean, and it was just like a whirlwind experience. The girls were so welcoming, because I originally tried out for that team and I didn't make it. I didn't expect to. I was just a young kid coming out of high school, and that was obviously just like a distant dream for me. But I ended up, coming back and rejoining that team, and they were just awesome and guiding me through, that process and just really taking it all in. And, looking back now, it seems like a lifetime ago, but I've learned so much from that. And I'm just so grateful for that experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hockey's one of those sports for us where a lot of times you do see people get tapped super young, like you mentioned. And so then, I mean, I would still consider you young, right? But you're in this like baby vet situation now. I mean, how would you talk about how your leadership has grown since you've been able to find your way as a staple with the USA hockey team?
Yeah, I think it's grown tremendously. Just as I've essentially grown up in this program, I've had the privilege of watching incredible leaders like Hillary, Megan Duggan, other leaders that have come before me. I got to play with my idols growing up, and just seeing the way that they have pushed the game forward, and just been incredible role models for the next generation, including myself, has really taught me a lot. And I've tried to, model some of my leadership characteristics off of those people as well. And, as you get older, you know more, you learn more, you're more calm in situations, and you kind of understand the complexities of everything that goes into this game, not just playing it. So I think that just, being in it and experiencing it has taught me so much.
This episode of Locked On Kraken. Today's episode of Locked On Kraken, as I mentioned at the top of the show, brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money. Ever wish managing money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control of your finances. And Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It is a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. I've told you I use Monarch Money for my company, Black Rosie Media, where we empower Black women and melanated creators in sports media. And I love the cash flow chart. A lot of the things that I do in a separate kind of software with an accountant that I use and someone to help me track my finances. Monarch Money actually can do that. And I like that I have something that makes sense and is intuitive to me that I can use, in addition to having something, again, that my bookkeeper and accountant manage, and they kind of organize things in their way. But for me, Monarch Money was completely intuitive. It helps me just keep everything front of mind, or top of mind with the dashboards, especially cash flow dashboard. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. Yeah, for sure. And, we're knocking on the door of 2026, Milano Cortina here. And I get the sense that this is an opportunity for USA Hockey to really, just continue to push the envelope. You've got some people like yourself, again, that have been through a quad, as we talked with Hillary, but also some up and coming folks that are really looking to cut their teeth. What do you feel the vibes are right now with the team, and when do y'all start really hunkering in and getting focused on what the goal will be when we get to Italy?
Yeah, I mean, we're starting up here really soon in a couple weeks, with, our first meet together, our first training camp. And, we always say, the Olympics is every 4 years, but truthfully, it's every day. And, we've been gearing up for this for the past 4 years. Rosters have fluctuated. We've been training together for the past 4 years to come down to this one tournament. And that's something we're really looking forward to. I think just getting together, getting our feet on the ground, and really building something special throughout the next couple of months leading up to the Olympics is going to be a super special group that we have. We have a lot of veterans. We also have a lot of young kids that are eager to get in there and eager to make their mark and really start their national team careers at the Olympic level. So I think we have a great, healthy mix of, that veteranship presence and, that youth as well.
And we've already talked about snacks. We talked about candy. You mentioned food here. So I'll have plenty of time, hopefully, to talk to you about the hockey. So I'm going to lean straight into it. Do you already have plans? Like, if you get to Italy, do you know, like, how you want to spend your time when it comes to exploring the food, the sweets, the treats?
I want to explore it all. I've never been there. So I think it'll be exciting to just kind of try everything that's around. I mean, I've heard it's some of the best food in the world, so it sounds like a place I want to be. So excited to, try the pizza, the pasta, the desserts. I mean, it's going to be an amazing experience, and to be able to do that with, some of my really close friends, like on our team, it's going to be a special experience.
For sure. Well, if you're there, you'll have plenty of reason to burn off all those calories. I'll have to put in some extra workouts 2 days for me out there in Italy. But, Seattle's got a pretty nice food scene as well. And so, let's talk about now you're with PWHL Seattle. I know we've heard y'all talk a little bit about being able to bring a women's team here. But vibes, let's talk vibes. You're in market right now. What vibes are you picking up? What are you excited to explore?
Yeah, I think the fans here and everyone here are just super excited to bring women's hockey here. I think it's been, a want for a long time. And I think, this city does a really good job of supporting not only their sports teams, but their women's sports teams in particular. And there's a lot of other women's sports teams here. So there's a strong culture of that. And I think that, as much as they're excited, we're just so eager to get going. As far away as it seems, start of the season, November, it's right around the corner. And I think just being here and getting our feet on the ground is just a fun experience. And obviously to be here with, some of the girls, it's fun to reconnect with them just before we get going in training camp.
And, like you said, not quite there yet with training camp, but you're in market. You've been able to connect, I'm sure, with some of your teammates and the rest of the staff. What would you say, do you think the PWHL Seattle identity will be coming into the season? Do y'all have a handle on what that is or what you'd like to cultivate that to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we will have to sit down as a group and kind of decide who we want to be. The fun part about being all new to this area is that we can build whatever we want to be and express whatever we want to be. And that's the really exciting part. I don't, want to speak for the whole team as a whole, as we haven't all gotten together, but I think that we have a strong group of individuals that, will bring a lot of, personality, a lot of, hard work and passion to the city for the growth of the game and for the growth of women's hockey and youth development as well. So I think that we, are just going to continue to try to be builders, as Hillary said, builders of the game and really bring, this new aspect to women's sports here in Seattle.
Yeah, for sure. And Seattle Kraken fans will know this, whether it was the expansion draft or some of the moves that happen as part of the hockey business. We talk a lot on the podcast about revenge games. So I don't know, Cayla, are those real? Like, do you get a little hype? Because I know you've also switched NCAA schools before. Is it real? Like, is there real hype when you play somewhere that you used to be, an old barn that the crowd used to be with you and now they're kind of against you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the hype is real. You always get up for games like that, and even if you had a great experience in that, in that market. I think it's always, now I'm in a different market, and now, I bleed this team. And so that rivalry definitely gets heightened. And so I'm super excited to go back to, my old market and play in a barn and against fans that like love their team. And, I used to play for them and play against them, and it'll be fun. And, I truly do really want to beat them and crush them, actually. That would be my goal. So that would be something fun.
I love it. Yeah, I'm going to take you back to something that happened with the Seattle Kraken and get your thoughts on if this is fair or foul. We have a certain player, let's say maybe his name is Brandon Tanev, gets traded, then goes up against another young player. I don't know, let's say maybe his name is Shane Wright. First game back, Climate Pledge Arena, after being traded, levels Shane Wright. Is it fair or is it foul? Like, I mean, I don't know. I have my thoughts, but I'm curious. Like, would you respect that, or would you have something to say about that if it happened?
I mean, probably something I wouldn't do, but I think that, everyone's a bit different and they handle situations in different ways. So, I think that being a part of this new team will approach, different situations in different ways. And as long as we all have each other's back, that's all that really matters.
Oh, 100%. I could see it both ways. I think it was a clean hit. So, I mean, hockey's hockey. And, it's definitely a choice. It's definitely a choice, Tanev. But 100%. Hey, if you can back it up, then go for it, right? Yep. Well, Cayla, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining Locked on Kraken, and we look forward to having you on throughout the season.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, sure thing. All right,
Erica.
Great interview there with Cayla Barnes. I couldn't help it. We were talking about revenge games. She and Hillary Knight, of course, played in the PWHL last year, so they will have, as Cayla said, their games circled. But, I mean, we talked about that hit on Shane Wright on the episode, but, don't take my word for it. Despite what people may say about me never playing an 84-game NHL season, which is absolutely true, I do think that my opinion should not ever usurp what a player says, given that I'm talking about player experience every once in a while. But I think it's fun to ask athletes those kind of questions. Thank you for listening. A reminder to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, all in the purposes of making this crazy, beautiful, hectic world that we share a little bit more manageable and palatable. And we hold fast, we stay true, and loud and proud we say, let's go Kraken, and let's go whatever the name is of the Seattle PWHL team. Until next time, make sure if you want more women's hockey content, you check out the Women's Hockey Report on the Locked On NHL channel. Rachel and I break down the Ottawa Charge. We're doing team-by-team deep dives, and Ottawa is up. Thank you again, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody.